far as the covering board and that corner covering piece go, oh, this is wet, but it's not rotten. And man, they just tuck that drain. I mean, it's the lowest corner, I get it. What a buggity boogity boogity buggity boogity. I think, yeah, this argues a strong case for pulling the corner covering board piece so that I can get everything bad out of here and maybe try to fit a larger drain in. But the drain flange is trapped underneath all this trim, all the stuff I lovingly tried. Maybe this drain's big enough, I don't know. I would kind of like to go with a, oh man, how did I gouge that? I just did, that's all. Kind of go with a wider one. I wonder if there's a way I can kind of hack that out of there and then fit something else. I don't know. I guess they're big enough. The problem wasn't that they were too small. The problem was that it was so clogged. It had there was an 1/8 of an inch aperture for water to flow through. So it would take, you know, you put 2 gallons of water back here, it would take all day to drain out. So you can imagine what would happen if a wave pooped this deck with the drains in that condition. I don't know. This is I got plenty more things to do before I worry about that. Okay, we got a supposedly rain-free day today, although it's kind of scudgy out. It's not going to be very cold and it's not going to rain. So I'm moving back to the hall. I want to clean up my scarves here, make sure the bevels are good, and then start at least making patterns today and maybe doing a rough rip for each of these 2 pieces, the long one and the short one, out of the cedar, once I know exactly how wide the pieces have to be and all that good stuff. I'm not going to start mounting them today. I'm waiting for fasteners, which should arrive later this week, probably next weekend or early next week, unless I get some work. I'm going to be back here screwing these bad boys onto the boat. That one looks really good. Just gotta, I don't really have to smooth that right now, but I'm going to anyway. Oh, might be suddenly too deep. That's pretty good. Put some epoxy on this a couple days ago when I did these strips, just into the checks and some of these old holes. There's a lot of holes in these. I don't know if I'm going to try to reuse the old holes or not. It's a tough call. I may just try to land screws where it seems sensible to land them, and if they catch old holes, so be it. I also don't know how long this is going to hang in there. We'll see. This I'm gonna have to get in there with a chisel. I didn't bevel it enough before I put it in. But let's smooth the face first. some sandpaper there to even that up. This part is good, it just gets a little too tight here. Let's try this. Some sandpaper folded over a blade. Okay. Getting there. Yeah, next time definitely gonna take a little more time with the plane. This is a drag. Gut tells me. All right, we can fare the rest of that later. It's time to start making patterns today. There's a number of ways to do it. I've chosen a technique that will work for these couple of pieces. If I were doing a whole boat, I would probably do it a little differently. First thing I gotta do is make a line here for reference for the pattern for this piece. That's simple enough. Try to run it more or less in the center. Oh, really? Is that what we're gonna do? Oh, this is bouncing a little. These nails are a little too small. Joke. Oh, come on. What do I need to pilot these? It's just, I don't want to use screws, damn it. I've got to ease this a little. It's under compression. All right. Okay. Now here's where it's different. You can do stuff like you can make a reference mark and then swing a compass to plot out the whole line on there. You would start with a wider strip. But if there's another trick that I'm going to try, using Post-it notes. You can also do this with hot glue and cardboard. I may wind up doing that. We'll see how well they stick. It's so, in fact, I should have done it on the smooth side out, shouldn't I? I'm not going to create the whole edge with Post-it notes. I'm just going to plot key points. I also got to mark. Actually, I can do that when I offer the piece up to check the fit. I'm not going to transfer these marks directly to the new wood. I'm going to transfer them to some like scrap stock, some other thin 1/8" stuff, and make a fairly rough cut initially. Then I'm going to shape that so it fits properly. Then I'll transfer that to the new wood. Nope. Okay. I could just pull these through easier. Save them. marked with an arrow so I know which way is up. Well, let's see if we got a straight edge here. We kind of do. I remember that corner was. Let's start with a straight edge. It'll be so much easier. In fact, we'll use this right angle at the end. We knew it had to fit there. Yeah, I think this is a good starting point. Gonna transfer these marks also. There's my other. Then now what to cut this with? Where's the jigsaw? Is it on the boat? Yeah, it's up in the boat. All right, we'll use the cordless circ saw. Oh, I know I charged these yesterday. I'm really gonna have to go back in the boat half with a foot left to cut. Really? Woohoo! We got it. Before I forget. We have a pattern, sort of. Yeah, I kind of forgot. I have to, because I'm doing butt joints on either side, I have to take a little extra off the ends. What is that? Like 1/8 of an inch. Already marked that one at about 1/8 of an inch. Actually, I got to come in. That's where it needed to be. It was a little long in general. It's going to come another almost 1/8. It's a little too thick here. Make a mark there. This is a little out of square. That when I transfer it, I'll bring this corner that way, a 1/16, and then draw my line again. All right, we got to cut a piece off this cedar. So a little extra. Now, as we know, this is way too thick, and it also isn't cupped on the inside. So the next step is to set up the old surface planer, such as it is, and run this through it. I've already started this process. The battery died. Didn't have the other two on me. Had to go back in the boat, yada yada. But what I'm trying to do is get this piece down to about 1.25 inches. With the jankiest surface planer in the world. Still quite thick, but I'm gonna just pretty much, still a little proud of 1.25 inches. I've noticed what's on there varies from 1 inch to almost 1.25 inches. I think I'm gonna cut it to size first, then lick it one more time. Perfect. Yeah, just for laughs. I'm gonna transfer these marks to it. Well, it's too thick for the jigsaw. Guess we gotta use the circ saw. Really? Fresh battery. Just not up to cutting cedar. Wow. All right, I gotta set up the big boy. No, it's still probably way too thick, but just curious. Yeah, it's not going to want to bend at all until I take some more off it. Wow. But the fit is pretty good. My seams got a little too big there. My butt joints got a little too big. It'll be all right though. Make it happen. You gotta take more off of this. A lot more. A lot more. About 1/4. I'll spare you that process. I think we can at least get rid of this now. Oh, hold up. I gotta transfer marks again. That's pretty damn good, I dare say. Although my end seams, am I happy with this? The bevel will get rid of pretty much all of that. Seam compound will take care of the rest. It's not really going to want to bend. It's going to be tricky. I hope I don't have to steam this tiny piece. I do have to hollow out the back of it. That'll help a little bit. Before I do that, I really need to start making the other pattern, but I'm just going to cup this a little bit and see how that works out with the sander. Well, so much for that. So much for that. Yeah, that check obviously wasn't going to hang in there. That was a huge waste of time. Practice, I guess. It was too short anyway.